I just want to thank ESS for letting me do this, and I just want to like kind of share a little bit of my background in the things I do. I started out as a filmmaker, and that was all like self-taught and DIY stuff. And around that time when I was doing that, I didn't have any access to like cameras or a lot of resources, so I still had this like urge to do it. So I did my own research. I reached out to like people myself, like especially like actors that I would just find on forums, if anyone's like familiar with like Facebook filmmaking forums. But what was interesting about that time period was that I had this like it was fun to be resourceful and to do things myself and not really rely on going to school. I didn't really have the option to continue school after high school, but I didn't let those things get in the way. And fast forward a little further, during the pandemic, I was working on like a fourth feature film, which is insane because I don't care about that work anymore. But during that period with filmmaking, I had this like complicated relationship with sound and sound design. I wasn't very good at it. I didn't really think about sound every time when I was making a film, which is insane and very silly because that's like the main thing about filmmaking. So during the pandemic, again, I had this film that I was working on, kind of wrapped it up, but didn't really have any options of like releasing it or anything like that. So I started getting interested in music, and that was basically because I was DJing, which a lot of people start out doing, I have noticed, and there's a lot of DJs in Chicago, but I was primarily doing it like at little functions and little parties. And during the pandemic, I was using this program called DJ Pro, and I actually still have it on my laptop. Just show you how it looks, just for context. I can't say it's like the best software. I actually unsubscribed to it because I didn't realize I was still subscribed to it, and they charge $50 a year, which is insane because it used to be free. I know. But for example, there's like little sounds on here. Oh wow. So every time when you click on a sound, it's gonna pop up that you gotta buy or upgrade, whatever. But what was cool is that I would load things into like the virtual decks, and you can actually do multiple stuff, which is super cool. And I'm not gonna show you how to DJ. That's not what we're here for. But I would essentially put stuff on this program and then mess around with these effects. I wish, actually, it sucks. I deleted all the music off my laptop so I can do this, but I might have, I'm gonna listen to Amen Break, so if you're excited for that, yeah, let's use this. So I would essentially use this as the player, and then when I would, please bear with me, I've not used this program in a while. Oh, here we go. So like, I would play around with the buffer, jump around, but imagine pop music, I guess. That was like what I was first interested in when I was messing with this program. And then adding these really crazy effects, and they updated, oh my gosh, wow, I probably won't be able to use all of them, but let's see how this sounds. I have an actual example from something I'm about to show, but I just wanted to test this out, and please bear with me. Okay, so like, oh, I should turn this up. So there's like some effect on this, and when I was using this program at the time and very bored, I was like, oh cool, like there's these cool effects, and I can like take a song that I have some like interest in and try to like remix it and give it a different context. And what that led to, and at the same time, I wanted to tell this like narrative because I was still in this like filmmaker mode. But I did not attend my high school prom, and I kind of regret not going. So I started thinking of this idea of like this made up playlist in my head of like what songs would have played at my prom. And this is in 2013, so I'm old. But I just started like thinking about like every song that might have came out around that time, what I would have listened to, and using those songs and making this like weird mashup soundscape thing. And I think it's interesting too because I actually recorded it in this room, which is insane because at the time I wasn't really familiar with ESS. I wasn't really involved with ESS or any kind of like music scene, I guess. And I thought it was interesting because now, like 5 years later, I'm here, or 4-ish years later. And again, at that time, I didn't really have that many resources. I just like knew some people, and the person that helped me record this was a friend at the time. And I have a song from that project, and I will play it. It's about like a minute-ish long. And points to the person if they can guess what song is being sampled, but it doesn't really matter. Let's make sure this is up. Okay. So yeah, I like mostly used just the software, and there's actually a way you can record things in the program. You probably have to buy it to do that now, which sucks. But it was really cool because I was also using like a controller that I had access to. And it was just purely out of, again, being interested in trying to do something creative with sound and music. The project itself didn't really go anywhere. I just put it up on Bandcamp, didn't really have any expectations. But a very artist that I highly respect named Carl Stone, who's a personal favorite, and I've hosted him twice in the city, which is super awesome. He bought it, which was really sweet. I didn't ask him to do that. He just did it, which was cool. Again, when I put that out, or when I recorded it, I didn't really have that much of an expectation because I was thinking like, oh, well, I'm just someone that's just using this random program instead of using like Ableton or a bunch of programs that I didn't have access to or knew how to use. And it's cool because now I'm here and I'm showing it, and showing it in a room of like familiar and new faces, and it's really cool to kind of share things that at the time I didn't care too much about, I guess. And since then, a lot of things have changed in terms of like in my life and what kind of inspires me now. I kind of still have interest in sampling music, but it's a little bit in different contexts. I'm very into carrying like sound recorders around like having a sound recorder on me, visiting different spots in Chicago. I'm born and raised here, so it's a very huge city with a lot of different sounds, and sometimes I'll hear like 5 cars drive past me and it's like 5 different songs. One time I heard like a Bon Jovi, like I think it was like Living on a Prayer. I only heard like a snippet of it, and like when I heard it I was like, oh, that'd be cool to take that moment and try to make something out of it. And that's just kind of what I gravitate to towards now. I'm really into sound effects. Again, still into pop music, but I like to call it like just annoying pop music, and I try to get the most annoying song that could exist. Like right now, that I mean, not to if you like the song, it's fine. But APT by Bruno Mars and whoever it's like a huge. I think right now it's like when I like frequent the bus, and I'm always on the bus. It took an hour bus ride here today. I love hearing when people are on their phones and it's like 5 different phones going off and they're watching TikTok and going through different things. Just those moments are really fun for me because I do think they can work in a performance setting, and I guess especially in like experimental works. It's just like, again, the things that I'm interested in, and especially there's been times where I'm going through like this very hard traumatic moment, and one thing I wanted to share is like I lost both my parents from this start of the project till now, so very short amount of time, but there was moments where I'm like, like, oh no, like this is horrible, but then I will hear something or something that kind of like makes me think of that moment and try to like extract that and try to make something out of it. That's just like how I work. But at the same time, it's like hard to have those concepts, those ideas, and you're thinking like, well, how can I do that thing, without spending a bunch of money? And that's kind of like what I'm going to share is like the ways that I do these things in a resourceful manner. And this is coming from someone who has like bought gear before. I have invested in gear, resold it. I used to do modular stuff. I was doing that for some time. I actually have a snippet of something I did at Elastic Arts, which is a space I work at, and I highly encourage people to go if you haven't. It's a great community, and I will say that it's a life-changing job that I was able to get because I'm always learning new things there. I'm like more fluid with the mixing board, and like the first time I ever had to do that, I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on. But like, again, so many great performances have been there. I get to work, again, many shows and get to kind of experience different music, and it's another thing that has happened from this point till now that has been really helpful with like the work that I'm trying to do. Cool. So sorry, I have note cards just to help me get through some of this. But yeah, one thing about my current work that I'm gonna kind of show some references. I like to kind of find ways to make like textured soundscapes. I like things to sound unpredictable. One term that's been used to describe my work is glitchy, which is fine. I'm not like against it, but it is a funny word to use. And I like using things to sound like broken up or cut up. And then another way to describe it is like a error. I've this cleat performance that I did, there's a section that I want to pull up, and it's probably not going to sound that great here because it's not on 16 channels, but at one point the patch that I was using to send my audio started to like cut out in different parts of the space, which is what I wanted to happen. And I remember like rehearsing things and thinking like, okay, so this can completely crash, or it's going to crash at moments. And again, I really am interested in that, and I really like when that happens. But let's see if I can find. Be hard to tell, but I guess try to imagine that, but like where you're sitting in Elastic Arts and under this cleat system, again, it's going in different directions. The patch I was using was moving around the room, and then random parts that you can like map basically. And yeah, it started to kind of give out, and it sounded really cool in my from the part of the room I was sitting at, which was centered. Cool. And then I will also share some other stuff that I've done, and we'll get into more things. So again, thank you for being here and listening to my work. I don't really do this often of just showing people stuff. I just let people figure it out or find it. But this is like a more upbeat thing I made on a release, and it was through this label called Blorpus, which is a side project of Houseu Mountain, if you've ever heard of that. I know maybe some people have. And that was exciting because the person who runs that, named Max Allison, heard me play, and Max Allison does a project called Mux, and it's really great. And he approached me at a show and asked me to record some stuff, and that was cool because, again, I've never had like a physical release. I still have copies if someone wants one. Name your price. I'm tired of looking at them. But I have one thing from that, and this was fun because it was like a combination of a lot of different things, including like, I'm really into like, streaming like intros. So like HBO, Amazon, all that. And like, I don't know, there's like things about that seem so mundane, but it's like, again, it's interesting that they like probably paid someone to make these sounds, and I just like I hear it and I'm like, ooh, like let's try to make something out of that. But hopefully this isn't too loud. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but you kind of get the point. It sounds like it's a mess, but I also like really like Dua Lipa, and that's like a track or like a vocal chop that I made, and the idea was to like make a very like anti-dance type song, but I've never really performed that live. It's really like I don't think I would ever be able to, but it was cool to do that. And then also on that same thing, which I'm just going to show a snippet of, it's the last track of that album, which is entirely different, and this was using a Red Panda pedal, if anyone's familiar, but my friend was about to sell it, and I was like, hey, let me use that for a set. And at the time I didn't really know what I wanted to do for this specific show, but I had my phone, and I'm gonna show you some of these apps that I use on my phone, and running that into a pedal. I won't say like, oh yeah, in order to make something sound cool you need a pedal, but like again, being resourceful and if you are doing music in the scene, especially in Chicago, there's a lot of people that just have stuff, and some people will just lend it to you if they trust you. And I think I'm a trustworthy person. So it was really cool to kind of do this like in the spur of a moment thing, because I don't really use a lot of pedals, and this specific pedal isn't like an easy one to use. It's mainly like a granular delay kind of thing. But like also in the huge like community of like music people, they always say like don't read the manual, which I think is insane, because it's like why? But this is some of it, and here is a snippet. I'm gonna But yeah, that is like, again, running this app on the phone and using this pedal to kind of capture those moments. And that app is called Audio Stretch, and I would highly recommend it if you want to do like sample mangling. It's very fun with like drums. I don't know what I want to demonstrate on it. I have actually a Taylor Swift vocal that I'm going to use to show that or to demonstrate it. Cool. We can jump right into some stuff, and then again, this is like how I do things. I'm gonna start with I guess like, not that it matters, but would you rather see like desktop stuff or an iPhone thing right now? I kind of wasn't sure what makes the most sense.
What's your favorite?
I guess the phone, yeah. So let's do. Thank you. That's very easier to think about it that way. Cool. I'm gonna mirror my. I just learned how to mirror on the iPhone, which is cool. And what's cool is that you can send, like the audio is coming out from my laptop, and I was just talking with someone about how you could probably route it to different things, which is very cool. But the first app, I don't play Minecraft, by the way. That's for someone. But, not that it's a bad thing. Not that it's bad. There's also like a website that has like all these Minecraft sounds, which actually sound pretty good. I also like am a very huge supporter of like having like in mind where to find sounds. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Source Engine. It's like yeah.
I have mined so many of the like sounds like grenades hitting the ground.
Exactly.
Like barrels. Like they're very good percussive sounds.
And they have a lot of door closing and door opening stuff. And this is just like on Reddit, but you can download all those files, and I like to consolidate them and use that as like a drum thing or just something to sound weird or whatever. Sample Toy is the first app I wanted to show. I really like Sample Toy because you have this little buffer that you could play around with, and like I think using just your hands itself is like very fun. I want to make sure that this is off right now. But yeah, it's like, it could get really weird, and like you can mess around with the delay to like give it some like extra oomph to it or whatever. Yeah, cool. So I think right now I have like notification sounds, which again you can just find online. So that's the file, and like the pitch is a little bit down, and you can always like have a range of it, and then the smooth loop is really nice because it kind of transitions really well. So it sounds a little different. What I like to do, and sometimes I feel like I'm cool doing it, but not really. I just kind of look a little strange doing it. But let's see. I'm gonna take down the range. Take that off. I'll just like have my fingers on the buffer and then using the other hand to like basically trigger the sound. And when you have your other hands messing with the buffer, also you can record like directly into it. My microphone's messed up, and I don't know when I'm gonna get that fixed, but that's like the one limitation right now I'm having, but I still try to find a way to make it work. But basically, so yeah, it just sounds like a lot of like glitchy weirdness. But if you like put up the mix and the delay function, and then have a little bit of some delay on and a little bit of repeats, you can kind of get some good moments. I'll turn on the pitch. You get like weird delay stuff. So yeah, how I've been like doing things, and it's a little hard to do it like while doing this, but I just got an SP404, like the original one. I was a little against them because I just like didn't like how it looked. I also didn't know if it was like that portable, but just had a friend that was like, I'm getting rid of it. It was like $50, I think, and what I like about it is like recording directly into it. It only has a 1 gigabyte memory card, which sounds insane, but again, the limitations are very fun to work around. But I think what I'll do really quick is record directly into it. So be, just give me 1 second. Yeah, cool. Unplug this, make sure no noise. I think you'll be able to hear it through the SP404. Gonna delete something. And second. Cool, you can still hear it. The idea is that I'm gonna, again, as I'm demoing things, record stuff into this and then try to play something, but it's a little hard when there's a bunch of, well, I mean, I perform and like usually that's a bunch of people in a room, but I guess like in the process of it, it's a little nerve-wracking, so please bear with me. So that's the recording. Cool. Oh, not recording it. Cool. So we'll save that for now. and then move on to the next thing. So yeah, Sample Toy. It's a free app, which is cool. I think it's like compatible with whatever phone or tablet product that there is. I saw that there's this artist I really like named Crank Sturgeon, if anyone's familiar, but he does like a lot of experimental noise stuff, but he uses it, and that was really cool because another person that I highly respect and have seen live, and it's crazy. He makes his own contact mics too, so if you're ever interested in getting like really cheap ones but like they sound great, he makes like an underwater one, which is really cool to use and has good sounds. Cool. Let's move on to the next thing, and I just want to turn this off really quick and open it up. The next thing is a little hard to like sell to people. It's not that I'm also trying to sell it, but there's this visual artist that I follow, and I didn't realize that he like teaches overseas, but he kind of coined this term called scrollaging, and what that is, and I guess I should just show it instead of just trying to talk about it, but I have to open up Instagram. Here we go. Instagram, again, it's a terrible website. I hate that I'm doom scrolling half the time, but I do find inspiration in that somehow. And I've noticed that you can make folders on Instagram and like save just random things that you find. What I've been really into is like finding ads and just random things that come up on my feed. But I'm gonna show, oh, what is going on? There we go, cool. So this is a folder, I made it today, and because the other things I was saving, like it didn't really make any sense because I saved like a lot of different things, but I made this folder and it has all these sounds. And again, I'm not like saying you have to go out and do this, but I think it's very fun and can be great in a live setting. But let me plug this in so I can capture some of this. And this is where like all the like cut up stuff that I like comes into play. Let's see if this does that. No?
There's a bird.
Okay.
Stay tuned. It's in a. There's a burger.
So
there's
a friend sent me that, and I thought that was funny because again, it's like capturing like little, I guess, like again, like errors or like things that just don't seem normal to see on social media. But the scrollaging thing, and again, I think it's funny because I thought about uploading stuff like this, and I was like, like nobody's gonna really think that's cool. But there's a page, I think it's called like iGoo or something, and this person is, I think he might be doing something where he's automatically finding ways to scroll the screen. So I'm not sure how that works, but I reached out to him and I asked him about doing something here, but I haven't like really started the conversation yet, but it's really cool that he does it. But basically, this is how it is done. Let me, make sure I'm deleting. Oh, no, that's nothing. What the hell? Okay. Deleting that, and we're gonna record this. Let's see if
burger in. There's a bird.
Okay, so I can't say like obviously doing that for like an entire performance it would be pretty punishing to watch that unless you're doing it for like a minute. But what I captured and what I like again using that as like a sample. That's the sample, and it's just a loop basically. But if you have other things to affect that and like. You could even take this file and put it on Sample Toy and mess around with it. But on the 404, I probably would just do. around with it. So yeah, scrollaging. It's a new thing. And again, like even with those samples, I also find Instagram interesting to use because I lost my. There's like really crazy reels with like this Amazon ad. Just that like little drum thing, like to me that can be used in something, and I'll find myself like downloading. There's again free webs, like there's just like a Instagram reel downloader where you can put that in the link and then just download the audio file and then you can mess around with it later. This like random news video,
breaking,
just that like orchestra stab kind of thing. Like again, it's like I'm not promoting like, oh yeah, get on Instagram and find sounds, because it's kind of a depressing app to use. But I think again, it's I'll hear people in public on TikTok or Instagram, and I'm like thinking like, oh, I gotta find that, or and then again, sounding like it's cut up, or like almost like it kind of sounds like also like TV channel surfing kind of. And I also was very into that with like Comcast On Demand, if anyone's familiar, but flipping through that is always fun. Cool. And then the last like phone thing is going to be Audio Stretch, which is going to be very fun because it's my favorite thing. So Audio Stretch, it's free. I sadly bought the full version thinking the full version was going to have more things, and it doesn't. It might have something, but I was pretty disappointed. But basically, you can upload whatever file, any type of audio file. You can also use videos, which is really cool. But right here, I just have a Taylor Swift Anti-Hero, which I think I've only listened to like once or twice. And I kind of find that fun to sample because it's like I'm not familiar with the song, so I don't know what I'm going to get. And I try to seek that out a lot. And I'm also not really into Taylor Swift like that, but I do think she does like certain things in her vocals that is interesting. But yeah, I'm not crazy about her music. That's why there's only an acapella. But let me see. I wanna maybe delete that. Cool. And what I'm going to probably show too is this other thing that can make it even sound more interesting. But let me play around with it just to demonstrate it. But I really like it for time stretching stuff. But one thing I noticed is that you could kind of make it do some granular type things, and I'm a sucker for that.
you got
You can change the speed on it and that's just it doing that like by itself as you're speeding it up, which I think is fun. And for the cleat performance, I was mainly using this to like as my main audio source, and it was fun because I was like using one hand to kind of go in random parts of the song, and that's just like my thumb sliding up on the screen. Let's record a little bit. And like capturing that is fun in like a sampler like this, because I was just telling someone too about the reverb on this is kind of crazy, but that's the recording. But yeah, if I had more, if I was doing more like with this, I would probably find different things to use on this app and load it on here and throw reverb on it. And there's like a slicer effect too, which can also add more layers to it. But yeah, it's a cool app. I find myself using it a lot. It's fun with drums as well. And again, it's the free version is like all you really need. Someone asked me about the app recently, which was cool because I feel like I'm getting the word out, which is a nice little thing. Cool. So now you can stop seeing my screen, which is nice. Cool. And now we're gonna jump into some desktop things. And I'm hoping most people have a laptop, even if you don't. It shouldn't deter you from getting one, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the things, like a lot of the things I'm about to show are things that you can get on a PC too, if you have a PC. So the first thing I wanted to show is this awesome thing made by someone named Greg, I believe. I emailed him and he never responded, so I don't know if he still cares about this, but I don't think his name's Greg Technology, but when I reached out, I was asking him something about the MIDI capabilities on here. So if you're familiar with MIDI stuff, it's very fun to play around with it on here. But basically, it's all these samples that are arranged in different colors, and they're supposed to be like audio energy. So if you just sort them, it seems like it gets more musical towards the end. You can kind of see that it gets like on the purple side. But basically, it's these 1 second samples, maybe 2 second like loops basically. And you can play around with it. And what I like to do is just... kind of play around with that. But what's also cool is that if you go by more of the musical side, and I feel like you could find a lot of, like, again, cool sounds. And even if you didn't want to do this exactly, you could download the file and just throw it on whatever you're using to make music, and you can arrange something out of it. I just think it's like a really fun tool to play around, especially to, like, I don't know, just get like new sounds. And the other cool thing is that you can map your keyboard to it. So like, I have the A. Oh, let's do that. Okay, cool. So you can, like, again, try to, I like to find more of like ambient stuff on here.
Invest. Watch on me, watch. Oh.
I wish they were labeled, but I think the point is that you don't want to know what you're about to click. that's Miley Cyrus for sure. That's the other thing. It's like when you get like into like doing the unconventional ways of sampling, I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like when I've used this, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely that, or something from TikTok, which is cool. I'm not gonna really show a lot from the keyboard side, but I do want to record a little bit from there. Delete. Here we go. I kind of want more of a
less.
Nope, this is vocal stuff.
On that. Mix it on that, mix it on that, mix it on that, mix it on that, mix it on. Okay.
You said all these are 1 second long?
Yeah, pretty much, or like maybe. Yeah, that's like a second, I think. But yeah, it's fun. I feel like I have a friend named Jason Soliday who's an insane, amazing artist in Chicago, and what he likes to do is take these sounds and messes around with them in a max patch that is also free, and that's cool because like he just gathered all of them into like one folder and it'll jump through different ways. So just a good resource to find some sounds that are just randomly online. The other thing that I want to show is a couple other ones. I'm actually curious. Has anyone ever heard of Paul Stretch? Anyone? Okay, cool. We got some Paul Stretch people. Nice. Yeah, that's a great resource. It's free. I won't like dive into it too much because it's pretty simple, but again, time stretching stuff. But what I really like to do that is fun is that there's these like YouTube interactive clips, and there's this someone mentioned she looks more scared than like a singer, and it's probably because she knows that I'm gonna use the sound completely take it out of context. But what's fun about the YouTube interactive stuff, and I mean you can do it on a lot of different videos, but the keyboard on a laptop or a computer, you can just jump into different parts of the sample. That's the other cool thing. You can time stretch on YouTube, and it's just literally this like little playback speed. It doesn't really sound great when you're just using it like this, but I remember I did this like performance, or it was like kind of like more of a DJ set, but I had to like play some ambient stuff, and my version of that was taking the Mac startup sound and like slowing it down as much as possible, and then throwing a bunch of other layers on it to make it sound a little bit more magical. But on this, I just thought it would sound interesting if sounds like she's like sick or like she's gonna throw up. No, I took an earlier clip of that of like normal speed, but on Paul Stretch, what I like to do is take that samples. I've also gotten better with organizing, and that's nice. I think this is right here. So this clip by itself is just just recording off of the browser. There's also a really good browser recorder. I think it's just called Chrome Audio Capture, which is nice to have because it's better to just grab the audio right from the source. But yeah, it's in Paul Stretch, and I think I could get it to sound what it sounded earlier. So please give me 1 second. I'm going to turn this up. Okay. I can't tell if it's coming from the speaker. I think it might be coming from my... No, okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah, I really like using that just to like make things sound prettier. I feel like I used to use it to like process just like live sound. I had like this contraption where I would put like a microphone into this like metal box and would put some random stuff in there. So that's really fun to like, again, take sound and like kind of in the moment and taking it and stretching it as long as you can. But yeah, again, free app. You can also like use it on different programs. If you have like Ableton, you can throw it on there. It's very, very fun to use. The other thing is, yes.
Small stretch. Is that a different version of it, or is that just what it looks like nowadays?
I think that's how it looks.
I've used it in a while.
Yeah.
I remember the interface being less.
Yeah, I've been using it for maybe a couple years, but that's how it looks like. Maybe it looked different at one point, but I feel like it does function a little bit weirder on the iPhone or on a phone itself. But yeah, I don't know. I actually, yeah, I'm not entirely sure if it's like changed, but it is a very useful tool. Someone that I know that performed at Elastic, he did like an insane thing, and then he was like telling me about it later and was like, yeah, I was just using Pulse Stretch, and I was like, what? Like, how the hell? But yeah, the other thing I want to show is this newer thing that I found, which is very cool. And if anyone used a SoundThread yet? Anyone? Okay, cool. I think it's very newish. So there are some like bugs, but I have some stuff up that will work, hopefully. The installation side of things, it's a little weird, but you can kind of get through it. It's for PC and Mac, and it's free. And basically, yeah, you're just, again, throwing sound, processing it, and there's like so many cool little effects. There's this one called Very Drunk, or like, yeah, I don't, it does make it sound weird, but there's a bunch of granular stuff too, but there's like a whole series of effects, and I haven't dug into it too much, but from what I've used, it's fun. And what I find myself doing is just taking it and then sampling it later for some stuff. Let's name this file something though. I'm calling it Bjork Grocery Store because there's a Pete's Market that I go to that plays a lot of, well, actually I think it's just the one Bjork song, and I'm not sure what it is, but I have the original clip. And again, I'm a big, person who likes to carry like some kind of recorder on me. I think it's weirder when you have like, I have like a tiny Zoom mic, but I still get like weird looks from people, which is fine. I totally get it, but I sadly can't use my phone right now, but when I would, I have some files actually of some stuff I recorded on my phone and started labeling it, so it's more organized. But this is the original clip. Let's see if this. Cool, so that's the clip, and then throwing it into these two things, I'll show how it sounds with these distortion effects, but on this, it sounds pretty cool. And like, again, at this point, I think it's obvious that I'm very into granular sampling. I just think it's like a fun thing to do, and it always sounds cool, but this is how this sounds. Oop, that's loud, hold up. Another cool thing I like to do on this program is just playing around with the buffer. I do have this one file I'm actually curious. It was this CTA train station I go to a lot, and I think I have it. It's a speaker for like the, I think it's for the elevator. Just heard that from afar, and I was like, I gotta find that. And it was just in the speaker, so I have my phone up against it. So I'm curious how that sounds, and I'm gonna add some distortion stuff, and this might sound kind of crazy, but it is such a fun program. I'm hoping they do more with it, especially like effects, but I do feel like the list is pretty endless right now. So, but yeah, check it out, because it seems like there's like a whole community of people talking about it. CTA tab. Hopefully it works, because sometimes it gives you a weird error message, and then you're kind of confused. I think it should just play automatically. That's how this sounds. Hopefully it sounds. Oh. Oh. I had a drum beat in this, so I actually am curious how. I don't really need to go through all that, but yeah, very fun. It's like, again, you can get some weird sounds out of it. I just want to see if I can do one other thing on this. Which one? There's this little happy birthday sound effect. This was like on a birthday card that was just sitting in a community fridge next to my place. It was actually recorded, which I think is crazy. It was recorded on my mom's birthday, and I thought that was really sweet. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, has some meaning to that. It's probably gonna sound extra fucked up in this. I'm curious. There's one effect that I was curious about. Give me 1 second. Oh, was it the scramble? Yeah, I think the scramble thing. Just throw that in there. Crank up the range. And I'm someone that's like very intimidated by programs like this, but I feel like it's been the most like friendly type of thing. Let's call it B-Day. Let's see if it works. It's probably gonna sound interesting. I've noticed it takes a little. Oh no, I guess that's a lot quicker than I anticipated. Cleaning up. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it gets really weird, but I would suggest playing around with it. It's very fun to use. I feel like I've been saying that about everything, but it is fun. One thing I was going to show really quick, which just because I'm actually surprised that I'm on time, but there's this other thing called Typatone, if anyone's ever heard of this, but I am someone who has been doing just therapy, which is very nice, especially when you make stuff like this. But I found myself kind of being interested of like affirmations, and I think it's sometimes good just to like say things out loud or just write them down. So I've been using this guy just to like type some nice things. I was just trying to think of something that looked nice. Oh, and then it starts playing it. So it's like a little melody. It's like something you could start with, and then you could download the file too. Oh, that's actually, sorry. That's changing like the sound basically, but there is a way to download things, and I just think it's a very helpful tool if you, again, want to kind of experiment more in like some nice cute tones and all that. But yeah, again, free browser app. The next few things I want to go through are just like more hardware stuff. I brought some stuff, and I'm hoping most of it, it should work. One thing I've been really interested in is manually messing around with like CDs. That sounds kind of crazy because it's like, I feel like, you can kind of come across a lot of different CDs. Oh, cool. But what I've been interested in is finding CDs of like artists that I find repulsive and horrible people, and not really buying their stuff, but like coming across it. Like I found like a box of a bunch of stuff, and there was a CD of an artist that I hate, and like for a good reason, but I like the idea of using like sandpaper to mess around with it, and like maybe not doing any. Someone on a forum, and there's like artists that I like that do like, Oval's like a big person that does like CD manipulation, but there was this forum I found from like 2005, which is crazy, but someone like recommended someone like, oh yeah, if you want that type of sound, just tie a CD to your shoe and like walk around with it a little bit. So I thought that was interesting to do, but again, wouldn't really go that far. I just think sandpaper has been like the best option. And it's funny, the sandpaper I have, I'm not going to use that, I just brought it. I like took it from a job I was working, so I didn't even need to really go out to find sandpaper because I wasn't sure if I had to get like a specific type. But I also have this Bose CD player, which I find the most interesting one because there's like an anti-skip function. So if you mess around with it, it starts to skip in some interesting ways. And then also if you like apply some pressure to like the top of it, you can kind of get it to stop and start at times. So again, it's fun to experiment in this way. I spent like maybe like $15 on this too. So if you have like some money, why not? Let's see if this is gonna sound yeah, okay, let me do this, have this up, and then Let's see how this is gonna sound. Okay. Maybe just okay, so like just took a snippet of that, and again just kind of doing the reverb trick. It kind of adds a little flair to it. Let's do
That mix.
oh, not that. There's that. There's that, and then what's also really cool is I follow this company called Field Tone, which is I think also a newer company, I guess, and they're based in UK, and they make this thing called the Field Tone, which is a sampler. It's like a one single shot thing. It is like, I don't like to use the word like stupid expensive, but what was interesting is that I just reached out to them, and I would recommend if you feel like you can do this, and not that I'm like, oh, I'm cool for doing it. It was just more of like, let's see, like the worst they can say no, but I just like followed them. I like mentioned to them like, oh, when's your next drop for the Field Tone, which is this guy. And like it sells out really crazy, which is insane. But I basically asked them, could I get a defective one? And they were like, yeah, sure. Which was really cool. But they also like listened to something that I had on my Bandcamp. And again, I don't like reach out to these people and be like, hey, listen to my stuff, I deserve this. It was just more of like, hey, like, you know, it'd be cool to get something like this. It just don't have the money. I also don't want to wait like weeks because it's coming from the UK. So they sent one, and the only defect is that sometimes when you turn the volume knob, it like you can kind of hear a little bit of some crackling, but again, I think that's like a good thing to have as a layer with what I'm doing. Let me make sure I did this right. Yeah, that's going to that, and that's going to, okay, cool. So again, I have that the sample, and with the Weaver, you can basically you turn the knob, and basically what it does, sorry I didn't really get into that, is that it just takes the sample and then randomizes it in different ways, and it's supposed to be a little unpredictable, and it is, and it adds like some extra texture to it. And it sounds like it's doing mostly, once again, granular stuff, but I wasn't actually sure about that, so it was kind of like a surprise when I was able to use it. But basically, let's see if how. So that's that, and then let's see how this sounds. And if you move around the knob, change it up, and then I'll basically resample this and try to use it in a live setting. It's really nice. Like, I really like how it sounds. I've noticed some peers of mine have seen me play like a bunch of times, and one individual was like, oh, that sounded prettier, or that sounded pretty. And I think that's funny because I feel like I try to do that a lot. But like, I feel like when I started doing things, it was more on like really heavy, noisier stuff. But I really like these types of sounds, and I feel like Resourcefulness is very a good like tool to like start out with stuff, and like the internal mic is really cool. I've noticed like there's like a way to like, I think last time I used like a can of pop, and it sounded really cool in this. There's also like a rhythm thing that makes it a little bit of a beat. Yeah, it's fun. The one thing I don't like, and I'm hoping, well, I don't know if Heel Tone would ever see the documentation of today, but I don't mean it as a diss, but I'm not crazy about like when you turn the knob and how crazy it gets, but it's also like really fun at the same time. I've actually found myself using it more in a live setting and turning the knob, and it kind of adds a little bit of things to it. And then the last thing I wanted to show, I think that will kind of conclude things because we're kind of getting to the time. This is a little tricky because I don't think it's like that great to watch me do this in terms of like what I've been doing this with, but I did some research and I realized, I don't know, you probably have witnessed this, but you ever have like someone playing something on a Bluetooth speaker and then they walk out of the room and it just starts to, I did a performance recently where I just like left the venue to have that happen, and I felt kind of silly because I'm like, oh, this is like kind of annoying, and then you got to walk back in, whatever. But what was really cool is that this is not an amazing speaker. I found it in Humboldt, but tinfoil works really well if you wrap your phone with it. Oh, here we go. And like, I don't know, I think it's interesting. I'm sure there's like an easier way to do it. I guess like I'm interested in trying to figure out how to get like some kind of case for my phone that will like allow this to happen. But essentially my dream performance, and it will probably take some time because Bluetooth speakers are not like easy to come by. I would like to like get like maybe like 30 of these and like maybe have an individual person per speaker to do this type of method and try to see how it sounded. But they do also make Bluetooth speakers that have an aux out, which is nice because I would like to kind of grab the audio from this because I haven't really found the way of doing that. I guess you can just like put a mic to it, but I kind of wanted something a little bit more internal in the speaker. But this is the first time I've ever done this in front of people, so please don't make fun of me later. There's this, I don't know if I should, I guess I could use this app. There's this app called TC Performer, which is just a synth app. It's very cool, but they have just like patches basically. Let's see if I can find the, sorry. Oh, here we are. Yeah, okay. So you can hear it. Actually, I just realized that's not gonna work because I would have to have a way to hold the note, and I don't know how to do that on that app. I guess we can use some classical music. That's a good example. This is a playlist called Classical Bangers, so better be a good one. Let's go with the classics. Cool. Oh, that just goes to the next song. I realized that. Sorry, hold up. Cool. I think it's more fun again when you're playing just random music, but I was doing some stuff at home and I forgot what I was playing, but sometimes like the one like biggest flaw about it is that sometimes it'll just completely disconnect. So I'm trying to figure out a good way, but I like that method a lot because again, it's kind of like playing around with it instead of like having a device that just makes that happen, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but like there were some modules that I used when I used to do some Eurorack stuff, and there was a module that kind of like emulated that, and I thought it was cool, but it didn't feel like as organic. But I kind of don't want to try a little harder with that, but you kind of get the point. But yeah, I think that's it, all I can really talk about because we're getting to the time. But I don't know if anyone has any questions. It would be fine if there are. I wouldn't mind, but if you're gonna stay and mingle, we can always chat too. But yeah, thank you for letting me share some stuff. I thought someone had a question, sorry. But yeah, I think we're wrapping up.
Yeah, are there any questions?
Yeah. No. Yes.
So, was the one that you showed us sanded?
Say it one more time, sorry.
The CD that you showed us, was it sanded? Just wanted to clarify. The CD, was it sanded?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I brought the sandpaper just as an example. It's just one of these. Really, I just picked it up because it looked like a CD. But on the back of the actual CD, there's like small little scratches. My thing is like just kind of taking it and like slowly instead of like just trying to do all that. What I want to do so that I'm not wasting a bunch of freaking CDs, I went to California briefly and there was like a whole box of just blank CDs. So I thought about transferring the stuff like from the phone to the CD and then, finding ways of like placing it in a different setting and seeing how that goes. But I like it. I want to kind of acquire more CD players, but they're not like easy to get around because most of the time on eBay they're like always like for parts or whatever. So yeah, anything else? One more question?
Do you know why the tinfoil works like that?
It's funny because when I was like kind of doing some research, I got onto a weird part of the internet where it's like the tinfoil hat people. Yeah, so
because I think that they were like influencing you through like radio waves.
Yeah. So I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's definitely something in aluminum that is making it do it. I do think like the distant method, like just like walk, because I did something at Comfort Station and I only had to walk like at the end of that like new area that they just placed. So I think it's fun to like do that method. I still need to figure out with the aluminum foil because it does look kind of crazy just to carry aluminum foil on you. And it's also like Dollar Tree aluminum foil, so not wasting too much. Anything else? Oh, I thought someone had a question. No, okay. Cool. Yeah, thank you for letting me do this. I brought this piano thing and didn't realize I didn't use it, but it's just a junk piano that I was gonna sometimes I'll take stuff and then put it on SoundThread just to make it sound cooler. But yeah, thank you for being here. It's really exciting. I have never really done anything like this, so it's a huge honor to be here. And thank you, Kate, and thank you, ESS. Yeah.